So hello friends, welcome to EduTap. So in the topper series interview of UPSC EPFO EO AO examination, today we have with us Mr. Ishan, who has secured rank 103 in this examination. So Ishan, first of all, welcome to EduTap. And I, on the behalf of entire team of EduTap, congratulate you for achieving this milestone.
Thank you so much, sir. And I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. So Ishan, before starting, first of all, do let us know what was your first reaction when you saw your name in the Holy PDF?
Uh, Sir, it was very exciting, and I was kind of surprised to see my name because you never know with these exams, and
Right.
plus this was only a two-stage process, and we still don't know the marks of the recruitment test. So I was a little surprised, pleasantly surprised, but at the same time, I was very happy, and gradually over time, the feeling has sunk in, and I'm glad that I made it.
Okay. So Ishan, do let us know a brief background about your educational qualification or your working experience if you have any.
Yes, sir. So I've graduated from BITS Pilani Goa campus, and I had a dual degree from there. My BTech was in mechanical engineering, and I also have MSc in mathematics. So I graduated in 2018. And regarding my job, I recently started working in the Airports Authority of India, and I started in May of this year itself. So yeah, in between this time, I was preparing for civil services and other exams.
Okay, so have you appeared for civil services examination?
Yes, sir. I indeed have appeared three times between 2018 and 2020.
Okay,
So, yes.
right. So Ishan, if we talk about this examination specifically, so did you find any hardship while preparing for this examination, since the process of this examination itself had around period of more than 2.5 year, right? So it's more than 2.5 years since the notification came in January 2020 and result this month itself. So did you face any hardship while preparing for this examination, and how did you keep yourself motivated for this examination?
Right, sir. As you rightly mentioned, the exam got delayed by a lot due to unavoidable circumstances. But actually, it worked in favor of me because initially I was only focusing on civil services, as I told you. So, had the exam happened on time in October 2020, I might not have been able to give enough time for it. But when the exam got postponed, I felt that I could devote more time to it. And the only thing was to be patient and another thing I did was I kept my options open. Like I did not focus on just one exam. So that is
Right.
one thing which helped me through this tough 2 years, which we all went through. So I felt that it worked in favor for me.
Right. So Ishan, if we talk about factors that always play a crucial role behind success of anyone, right? So what are those three factors that helped you to reach there?
Uh, if I talk about three factors, I think the biggest would be perseverance because there were times when I felt saturated, like I had given my best and still there were no results. Some got delayed, some I was unsuccessful. But I persevered through it. And another would be patience. To keep patience, if you are sincere in your studies, then certainly at some point you will get what you want. And third would be, I would say, a decent support system because that is also very important.
Right.
We should not be cut off from our friends or family or whoever. We should, in fact, keep in touch with them. And I feel that it has played a great part in my journey as
Great. So if we talk about this examination specifically, so what do you think? How much overall time is required for the preparation of this examination?
well. Sir, for this exam specifically, if I talk about someone who is starting from scratch, I think they would require around 6 to 8 months, considering there are a lot of subjects. Although it is not much in depth, but still, since the number of subjects is large, so I think 6 to 8 months for someone who is starting from scratch. But if someone is appearing for other exams such as UPSC or even SSC, then certain portions would already be covered, and the rest can be covered in half of this time, maybe 3 months, 3 to 4 months. So yeah.
Okay. So Ishan, if we talk about the recruitment test specifically, so what was the sources of your preparation? What were the sources of your preparation for this examination, basically?
Right, sir. Uh, as I said, I have been a UPSC aspirant, so that helped me in my GS preparation a lot. So, for example, my modern history part was covered through Spectrum mostly. And current affairs also, I used to be in continuous touch with the current affairs, so I didn't have to do much else for them. So the GS part was covered. And for quant and English, I would say, since I was appearing for Airports Authority exam also, that exam also had a section for quants and English. So I was prepared for that section as well. The only new things were accounting, industrial relations, labor laws, social security. So for that, I used various free initiatives of available on YouTube. So that was, I felt, sufficient for it, because since we required only surface knowledge, not much in-depth knowledge.
So how did you manage the subject? Like if we talk about, you have been a civil services aspirant, right? So if we talk about components, so there are 10 components in this examination, out of which 60 to 70% syllabus you might have completed since you have been preparing for the civils, right? So what
Right.
about the rest of the 30-40% syllabus? How did you manage time for that, and how did you prepare those four components? I'm talking about general accounting principles, IR, labor law, social security. So how did you prepare these components, which are quite new and which are not in the syllabus of civil services examination?
Right, sir. So it was a challenge in the beginning, because we had only one past year paper available, so we did
Right.
not have much. But I used that paper as a reference point, and I decided that I won't deviate much in my preparation from what has been asked in the previous year paper. So I made it my reference. I sort of lineated my studies कि इस boundary के बाहर नहीं जाना है, and accordingly I devoted my time 1 or 2 hours, especially for those subjects, those 3-4 subjects every day. And I could manage it pretty easily in the end, if because I had planned well, I feel. So if someone did not plan well, they might have overstudied for things and studied things which might not are required. So that was, I felt, that I had to avoid consciously. So I think that helped me in the long
Means planning played a crucial role, right?
run. Definitely.
So guys, those who are listening, so they can note it, right? If you have time for any examination, then you need to prepare a solid plan. Then rest of the time you have to follow it, right? So right. So this was about the planning component. So what was your daily study plan for this examination?
Sir, as I said, that I was appearing for several exams in 2021. So I just had a goal that whatever was asked in the past year paper, that I must be able to solve by the time of the exam. So I won't say I had a fixed daily plan, but I did have a plan in mind, because since the exam date was announced in September, I knew I had 3 to 4 months to complete, to reach that stage where I'm comfortable with the past year paper. So yeah, I planned accordingly. I made maybe fortnightly or monthly plans, not daily plans, because I had to be flexible. So yes, but I did keep track of my progress. So yeah,
Right. Okay, so Ishan, if we talk about current affairs, so current affairs is always important for any examination, right? So what
right.
was the strategy with respect to this examination? I'm talking about current affairs. So did you refer multiple sources for current affairs, or any single source? So what was the strategy with respect to current affairs?
So sir, earlier I used to refer current affairs only for the civil services exam, but I would say that the requirement of this exam was different, considerably different from the civil services exam, because here more of one liner current affairs are important. So I would say it is better to stick to one source, and any source can be picked, and just focus on the one liner current affairs of any one source. Try to revise it 2 to 3 times before the exam. So that is the strategy which I followed. I had to make a slight change from my civil services strategy.
Right, right. And if we talk about revision, so revision is quite a tedious task, right? So whenever exam approaches, we revise the things whatever we have prepared during the preparation journey. So how
Of
did you
course.
manage your revision component? So did you make any highlighted notes or short notes? So what was your strategy with respect to revision component?
Yes, sir. Definitely, short notes are very crucial, especially in the last 1 month before the
Right,
exam. So I did make short notes. As I said, for GS, I already had my short notes prepared, and for other subjects also, I just knew beforehand while studying itself that in the end I'll be requiring the crisp of the subjects. So I had highlighted them or made short notes, whatever suited at that time. So yes, I did keep in mind that in the end I'll be requiring short notes for revision, and that helped me a great deal.
So have you made short notes for the civils component also? I'm talking about like polity, like history. So have you made for short notes for them also?
Uh, I haven't made short notes of Spectrum or say Lakshmikant, but I have
Right.
highlighted those books,
Okay.
the specific things, so that now I can finish those books in very less time.
Correct.
So I do not read the irrelevant parts now.
Because later on you just need to read the highlighted component, right?
Exactly, exactly.
Correct, correct. So Ishan, what about MCQ? I'm talking about test series or mock test, right? So mock test or test series is always important before the actual examination. So did you join any mock test or test series program?
Sir, I could not join a mock test series program. I wanted to, but I did not have much time because, as I
Right.
said, I had other exams as well. But at the same time, just before the exam, you also ran several MCQ sessions,
Right.
free MCQ sessions. So I used to watch whenever I was free. So that also helped me. And but I couldn't join a dedicated test series, though I wanted to.
Okay. So the MCQ session which you watched from on our YouTube channel. So did you find them useful for your actual examination?
Definitely, sir. What happens is we shouldn't expect those exact MCQs to appear in the exam. But
Right.
the thing is, if you just even just go through those MCQs once, it's kind of a revision, and
Right.
someone else is making those efforts for you. So definitely, it saves time, and yeah, it does help you in maybe not in direct, but definitely in indirect ways.
Right.
So
Right.
yes.
Okay, great. So, Ishan, what which component was most difficult for you while preparing for this examination?
Sir, definitely accounting, I would
Yeah,
say,
because you are
because
from science background, so
exactly. So I had never read accounting before. So, but the thing is, as I said, that I had analyzed the past year papers, and I even consulted with a few of my friends who were from accounting background. So they just asked me to study the basics, not go into the depth, and I stuck to that strategy. And by the end, I knew that I could solve the basic questions well. If they ask something in very depth, I wouldn't be able to solve, but that was not an issue for me because most of the people won't be able to do it. So my only aim was that I should be able to solve what the majority will be able to solve.
right.
So that is what I followed, and I think I did well.
Great. So this was about the recruitment test. Now, if we talk about interview, so there are various areas from where interview can be conducted, right? From where. So basically, what were the areas that were covered in your interview? It can be from current affairs, it can be from HR, the tab which you fill, right? It can be about the organization for which you are appearing, or it can be from the theoretical component of the syllabus itself. So what were the areas that were asked in your interview?
Yes, sir. So interview is like people say it is very random, and I sort of experienced it on the day itself because my interview took an completely unexpected direction because on the day of my interview was International Tiger Day. Uh,
Okay.
it was a coincidence, but that was where my interview, the core of my interview went. So there was a ma'am in the panel who asked me if I knew what day it was today. I told her no, but then she told me it is International Tiger Day, and then she asked me about tiger conservation efforts in India, tiger conservation efforts globally, and things like that. So I think around half of my interview was on that topic.
Mm.
Apart from that, of course, there were questions from my DAF also. They asked the meaning of my name, and they asked about the organization EPFO. They asked about my current job. So yes, DAF related thing definitely, but certainly you have to be prepared for something which you are not expecting. So you
Right.
shouldn't be surprised if they ask you something unexpected.
So how many members were there in your interview?
So there were four members.
And what was the entire duration of your interview?
I think it would be between 15 to 20 minutes, I'm assuming.
Okay. And were the interview panel, the interview panel was cordial or not?
So they were very cordial, like they were more cordial than you can expect.
Okay.
So as soon as I went in, the chairman himself made me feel very comfortable, and then he even gave me certain guidelines to follow during the interview. And he said that this is I'm telling you on my own behalf. I'm not required to tell you, but I'm telling you for your own good. So I hope you follow this and things like you shouldn't take too long on an answer. Don't answer something wrong. If you don't know, just say no and move on. So I think they made me comfortable right from the start, and I just felt that I was having a conversation with dignified people. So it was a very nice experience for me.
So basically, I'm asking this question because a lot of aspirants have phobia in their mind with respect to the interview panel, whether they are very harsh on the aspirant or what is the nature. So that is why I'm asking this question.
No, sir, I did not feel it even a single bit. In
Right,
fact, they took extra efforts to make me feel comfortable right from the beginning. So, if I understand the pressure of the interview, even I felt it. I won't say I didn't feel the pressure. I even fumbled a couple of times, but that is normal. That happens to everyone. So,
right,
as long as you are honest with them, they would never create a problem for you.
right. So Ishan, sometimes it happens that we do not know the answer of any question, right? So
Right.
what should be our strategy with respect to that? So we should clearly say no, or we should make a blind guess. So what strategy should be there with respect to these kind of situations?
Sir, there were a few questions, I think 2 to 3 questions, even in my interview, to which I did not know the answer to. So, but I had some idea, but I did not know if it was completely correct or not. So I asked them, "Ki, sir, I do not know the answer, but if you allow me, I can take a guess." So they themselves said, "Okay, you are free to take a guess." And I took a guess, and they were satisfied with the answer. So this can be one approach, or you can
Right,
clearly say that, "Sir, I do not know the answer to this question," and then they'll automatically move on to the next question. It is not that big an issue. Even they do not expect you to know the answer to every single question, so
right,
it is not an issue at all. But I would definitely suggest to not give a wrong answer.
right.
So that would be very counterproductive. Other than that, is fine.
Okay, right. So Ishan, if we talk about mock interview, right? So mock interview again a very crucial thing. You know very well.
Right.
So did you join any mock interview before your actual interview?
Yes, sir. I just took the mock interviews, free mock interviews offered by various institutes, including EduTap. So that is all. I think 2 to 3 mocks was all I took, and I could sense that at the end of the day, I need to be thorough with my DAF and my
Right,
current affairs. No one else can do that for me, and I felt I would be comfortable enough facing a panel through those 2 to 3 mocks. I could judge that. So I practiced by myself, and that was sufficient for me.
right. So Ishan, the mock interview which you gave at EduTap, so did you find that useful for your actual interview?
Definitely, sir. They gave me good feedback after my interview, which was
Okay,
very useful about my mannerisms, about my answers, about the length of my answers. So specifics were focused, which I appreciate. And apart from that, they asked questions for my DAF also, so I could get an idea as to what can be asked in the interview. So yeah, it was definitely helpful.
right. So Ishan, what message would you like to give to the future aspirants?
Sir, the only message I would give is to have patience, have perseverance, because I know these are difficult times. The competition is very high, and I myself was preparing since 2 to 3 years, and there was no result to show for it. But I would say if you keep on pressing, then there will come a time when you will get what you deserve. And I think we shouldn't feel demotivated. It is normal to feel demotivated at times, but we shouldn't let that affect our long-term behavior or mannerisms or
Right.
things like that. We should maintain a positive attitude and keep on trying until we reach where we want to.
Right. So thank you very much, Ishan, for giving your precious time. You have shared your strategy that will definitely going to be helpful for the future aspirants. And I congratulate you again on behalf of Team EduTap. And I wish you all the very best for your future endeavors.
Thank you so much, sir. And I'm glad I could share my experience, and I hope it helps other people as well. Thank
Yeah,
you.
sure. Thank you, Ishan.
Thank you, sir.